We're discussing a lot of sectors that could perhaps be the beneficiary of a turnaround in the economic environment as the new government starts to play its part. Realty is one such sector. We should pull up the stock of the chart of Oberoi Realty. The company announced its numbers, a fortnight ago, and the numbers looked quite good on a quarter-on-quarter basis. The revenues are up by about 30%. The profits are up by about 13-odd%. Vikas Oberoi, the chairman and managing director of Oberoi Realty, joins us now for a discussion on the earnings and, more importantly, what the new government could bring on board for the sector. Vikas, hi, good morning. It's good to see you in after a long time. First, a word on your own company. You've put behind a year that was filled with a lot of turmoil for a majority of the participants in the sector. But how is FY15 looking for you yourself, for the company, in terms of launches, what you could do in terms of saleable area, etc.?
Hi, good morning. The last 1 year has been challenging for the real estate industry, but it was more so on the back of what sort of government are we anticipating. The people of India have given a solid mandate to the present government, and I'm personally a big fan of Mr. Narendra Modi. Which Prime Minister on day 2 comes up with a 10-point agenda and gets going. So I guess if the government starts get going, the sector is bound to look up. So I have great expectations from 2015 as such.
Okay, but how's the environment on the ground in your own results?
Well,
it looks like your fourth quarter did much better than the previous quarter. So should we assume that you're seeing some demand coming up already?
Well, firstly, I always tell people that real estate is a cyclical business, and this cyclicality connects with the economy. It also connects with the cyclicality within the company. If you have many launches in a particular quarter, you will see a lot of revenue coming in. If you have some projects that get completed, you will see a lot of profit booking happening. So I don't think one needs to judge a company on the basis of quarter on quarter. Overall, if the economy per se improves, the sentiments are bound to improve. And a lot of these big ticket items are taken on the basis of how the next 3, 4, 5 years in the economy are going to look like.
Because I'm not judging your fourth quarter, Vikas. I'm just asking you whether in your last 2 months experience, you're already seeing, even before the new government came in, whether there was an end to the, depression in sales, whether the market was looking that it was coming out of a long night.
Of course it was. I mean, people had in their mind absolutely decided that, we are going ahead with a decisive government. And the writing was pretty much on the wall. And based on those facts, some early movers obviously start giving you signals that this is what the future is going to look like. And we saw that happening in the last 2 months as well. And so you're absolutely right that it did.
Okay. Do you see the Mumbai real estate prices pick up in the next 6 to 12 months, Vikas? Because some people believe that there's expected to be a lot of oversupply in the market, which could restrict the upside of in terms of real estate prices in the Mumbai market.
There are two things to the price rise. Firstly, there's been a huge increase in the input cost itself. Like, today we are paying for fungible FSI. Today we are paying a lot for the additional areas that we get by way of premium. The construction cost has gone up. So even though the prices continue to remain flat, the margin for a developer has kind of shrunk. So all I want to say is that at these prices also, people are actually getting a discount. Going forward, if the market opens up, people are bound to catch up on all this. And, your second thing about demand, what do we really call demand, what do you really call supply? Anything that's in the pipeline, which is not even started or, it's on the drawing board, can't be treated as supply because real estate will take almost 3, 4, 5 years for it to, come up, get ready and be delivered. So I really don't see that this huge supply that people are talking about is really supply in its actual terms.
So should I understand therefore that you could see per square foot rates inching up in Mumbai in say by the time we get to Diwali or even earlier?
Yeah, absolutely believe. See, first thing will be that whatever is ready will actually start getting sold out. So the real inventory that we are talking about, which is an apartment that is ready and one can move in, will first start getting absorbed. And post that, I mean, there'll obviously be a price rise because there'll be nothing which is ready and available. And then you will see this, supply on paper actually culminate or convert into real buildings and then come up for people to stay.
So what is
Your
the
land
percentage?
parcel
10% increases? I mean, what is the ballpark increase you're expecting?
Well, I mean, it really all depends. I mean, one clearly is seeing a very decisive government. So we are looking at a great 5-year run that any industry will have. And let's say if real estate industry has to happen that way, cost of money in India itself is 10-12%. So if one were to factor in that the appreciation will be near around, the interest cost, then we are looking at a 10-12% increase on pricing minimum. And if you really add up to the profit and if there are other factors that are going to drive prices up, then one will have to look at that also.
Your land parcel at Borivali that you acquired has gathered a lot of interest from the investor community. Just give us an estimate of when the launch is expected, what you plan to do there, and what are the realizations that you could be looking at?
So this property was bought from Tata Steel, and we are in the process of getting our approvals. We intend to launch this somewhere around Jan of 2015, and we intend to do a residential development, which would be probably in the 2 crore ballpark per apartment. So this will be like the upper end of middle class, and these are high-rise buildings. We've already started designing and getting geared up for the 2015 launch.
All right. And then one final question, Vikas, because we're running out of time. Just give us an indication of what kind of revenues and sales or other, volumes that you can do in FY15, something that Oberoi Realty is internally working with as a guidance.
Okay, I really, we're not in the business of giving guidelines or guidances, but all I can tell you is that our Worli project is up and running. We have Goregaon, which is already doing well. We've got Mulund coming up, and we'll have this Borivali coming up. So all in all, until today, we had only one engine firing, So we'll have 4 projects which will start adding to the revenue. So that's the max I can actually tell you.
All right, Vikas, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining us and perking up spirits, as it were.